When I'm not paying my street team to go to the Apple Store and download the Emeryld Ryders on every open iPhone. I like to answer questions I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. Sounded good, my man. I recall you talking once about how your vocals have improved over the years. I'd love to see a video about how you did it, as well as any vocal YouTubers or voice coaches you followed. I'm currently trying to improve my vocals as well. So this comment was posted on the newest Emeryld Ryders music video, where it's basically just me and a guitar, some other stuff, Pasha's playing on the violin. Again, just released a new album, Emeryld Ryders. Please check it out. Really mean a lot to me for your feedback. But yeah, I think the vocals ended up turning out really well on this one. I think if you followed this channel for a while, I have always done my own original music on this, and you can kind of see the progression of my vocal skills from being like, to being not terrible. So I definitely think that I'm in a place right now where I don't have any issues performing live. It seems to be, it's working out for me, and the answer as far as like how I've gotten better is probably not what you would think. Because I remember back in the day, I was like, all right, I definitely don't want to be reliant upon any vocalists, because that's really like a whole other layer of hell as a musician. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to learn how to sing myself. Not really, you know, as a little kid, I was actually like a pretty good singer. Like I'd be cast in like the lead for the school plays and stuff, but then once I hit puberty, it was like really bad, right? So I remember when I was like maybe 20 or something, I got the Brett Manning vocal thing. This whole thing with a bunch of stuff. Basically, it's like teaching you how to sing scales, a lot of vocal exercises, very important to do. And I made some progress from that, but I didn't really make a lot of progress from that. And not to say that's a bad thing, that program that I took, but I'm just a different kind of learner. There's all sorts of different types of learners. I'm more of like getting deep into something and then just being surrounded by it. So the main thing that helped me become a better vocalist was actually playing out with some supremely talented vocalists, okay? So in the last like year or two, I'm doing a lot of live shows with Kindred, Cindy, and Andrea specifically. Those have been like the top 3 people that I've been performing with and been around with live. They're all incredible vocalists in their own right, and they all kind of have their own style on how they approach things, right? So I've got a couple pieces of advice that I can give you that kind of like transcend music and are just, in my opinion, like pieces of advice that I have learned just trying to build like a happier, more successful life, is to put yourself in an environment that you're going to thrive in, and then always try to be the least whatever you're trying to do in the room. Like try to be the dumbest person in the room. Eventually you're going to be smarter, okay? Try to be the least successful musician in the room and surround yourself with other great musicians, and eventually you're just going to get better. So it might not be the answer you want, but really I just immersed myself and found myself in situations where I'm just kind of like thoughtfully seeing how great vocalists do. And again, you know, how we like categorize a good vocalist can be subjective to a certain extent, right? But when it comes to kind of like pitch, control, projection, volume, stuff like that, I think there are certain benchmarks that is just good singing. And I really have to shout out Kindred specifically. As far as like a live vocalist goes, she is an elite live vocalist. And I've played with enough people to know this by now, and also to enough experience that there's a big difference between live vocalists and in-studio vocalists. Not that she's bad at that, but her live is a totally different animal. And then just kind of like just being right next to her, experiencing how she actually goes about things, and kind of like seeing where maybe she struggles, how she adapts to singing for like 3 hours straight, is something that just like really wore off on me. And I've learned more on how to sing just by being next to a great singer than I ever did practicing my scales and singing, right? So again, one of the main points of being successful in life, I think, is just creating an environment that is really going to help you thrive in your learning, because there's so much of just like an immersive element that like you're just in there and you're around it. And I can't even explain exactly like what it was that made me a better vocalist, just being around it. But just again, front row seat to great vocalists in turn just made me a better vocalist because I've been thoughtful about it. And I think that the hidden component to all this is playing out live more. My ear has improved, okay? So because my own ear has improved, I can hear myself when I'm off better than I used to when I didn't have a good ear. That just makes a lot of sense, right? I've always known that you're supposed to be able to sing the major scale, bum, 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 but it's totally different when you're in more of like the context of actually playing a song, right? So for that song in specifically, it's kind of like a D minor to an F to a C thing. So because my ear has more developed now than it was, I know that the notes I'm going for are like, and because I can play that without having to think of it on a guitar, that means that somewhere in my mind, like my ear knows the difference between a D to an F to an A. Bum, 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 bum. And I can just kind of pull that out better than I could actually just like going da 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 da, and kind of going up and down scales. So again, not that that stuff isn't important. It's just for me as a singer, I just learn more being in an immersive environment. Now I will shout out my friend Elizabeth, who has a really cool YouTube channel that has like these really short, quick tips, because again, I really think that it's just a combination of doing it, getting out there and doing it, being around people who are doing it well, and also incorporating some of these like small tips and tricks to kind of help you just become a better vocalist. So again, maybe not the answer that you're looking for, because it's not like one thing that you can practice, but I do think it is kind of like just a tip that you can start incorporating, that if you want to be a better singer, surround yourself in an environment where you're going to be around better singers, right? And it doesn't have to be that. I just think that if you watch a lot of live footage of singers, it's a different ball game live than it is in studio. And being thoughtful about what you're listening to and how a singer is approaching that is the best advice that I can give. Useless crap, Berkeley graduate. So when you say useless crap, are you referring to the video that you just watched, or are you referring to your music degree that you paid $100,000 for? Not really sure. But anytime you feel better about putting your qualifications after a salty comment, you know you're on the right track. This is better than any Christmas song on the radio. Thank you again. This is the Lofi Christmas album I just put out. Just put a music video out with Cindy yesterday. Gonna be a few more of these on there. It's all streaming, so there's definitely a lot of stuff out there between Emeryld Ryders and It's a Lofi Christmas. I understand that not everybody digs lo-fi music, but it was definitely a fun project that I learned a lot about production skills just doing. So if you want to hear some kind of different take on Christmas classics, all of the royalty-free ones, by the way, if you haven't noticed, check out It's a Lofi Christmas by Sean and Friends. You won't be disappointed. What a great straightforward demonstration. Seems like a fairly decent unit. I also enjoyed your critiques and ideas for improvement. I hope they listen to you. Thanks for the great video. So this is in response to the video I posted on the Aeros Looper from Singular Sound. Now, I want to make an apology because there are some features I thought was missing from this unit when I posted the video that I just didn't have the auxiliary settings routed correctly in how I was using it. So I've been informed how to actually use it. You can put multiple inputs in through the aux. You just have to route it a certain way. And also, too, my issue with like the click and stuff was totally resolved with a firmware update. And the next firmware update is actually going to have even more capability, because the stereo in that I was kind of complaining about will be dual mono for the next update. So, apologies to Singular Sound. That is actually an awesome loop pedal. Best in class, really kind of a game changer when it comes to like the screen and how you kind of perceive and see loops and switch into parts. So you're definitely going to be seeing more of that on the channel, and I might actually start incorporating it into my live shows if I can get my act together. So definitely check that out. I will link it again in the description if you're interested, and hopefully I'll have some more videos coming to that soon. Thoughts on the Mackie versus your Bose L1 Compact? Similar vocal clarity and room coverage with the Mackie? So the first PA system that I gigged live with was the Bose L1 Compact. That was an absolutely awesome powered amplifier that they say is good to like up to 100 people. Sounds great, sounded great. Really, it definitely worked for rooms of about up to 100 people. Now, I had that thing for like 10 years, and eventually like the cones died out and it had some issues, right? But after 10 years, I feel like that's probably acceptable. Now, the smaller PA I've been using is the Mackie Flex, the SRM Flex unit, which has a lot of superior upgrades into it, specifically the Bluetooth streaming option and being able to control it from an app on your phone, okay? So I would say that the Mackie sounds as good, if not better, than the Bose L1 Compact. Now again, my thoughts here are on the old L1 Compact. I haven't tried one of the newer ones. I'm going to talk more about the newer Bose stuff in a second. But Also, the Mackie SRM Flex is not as loud as the Bose L1 Compact, right? They both kind of advertise like it's good for 100 people. I would actually say the SRM Flex is probably more like 50 to 70 people, whereas the L1 Compact is a legit 100 people. That being said, I personally prefer for that price point the Mackie. Even though it doesn't get as loud as the Bose, it sounds just as good, and the functionality I think is what makes it a superior product at that price point. Now, however, my main performing thing that I use with like the shows for Kindred and Cindy and whatever is the Bose L1S, I believe it is. So it's the bigger tower that has the B2 bass module, and that thing is amazing. That is, I cannot say enough good things about that. Now it's expensive, you know, it's between like $2,000 and $3,000 depending on which kind of setup you get. But we were just playing a show last week where it was kind of a tricky situation setting up, where we ended up having to play pretty much exactly right in front of where we needed the speaker to be. And the venue that we were at was kind of like a upper class, top scale venue. That was our only option in setting up. And I was like, okay, there might be some feedback issues. And I was kind of nervous because, again, we had no other options in how we were going to be able to set up. And we're sitting essentially right in front of the thing, hearing it as the monitor, kind of like right behind a pillar where the bar was, and then like half the restaurant was on this side, the other half on this side, like through like a hallway. And the thing was amazing. Like, I don't understand the Bose technology and how it's just so good that like the coverage of it works. I remember when I worked at Guitar Center, we had the rep come in and was like explaining it to me, and I was like, I still don't really understand this. But yeah, I will go to my grave saying that Bose L1S sound system is really amazing. But again, you know, you have to make sure that you're going to be gigging regularly for it to kind of be worth it. Whereas the Mackie coming in at under $1,000 and the Bose L1 Compact, I think are perfect smaller venue options that have a lot of capability. And honestly, I just use it as kind of like a boombox sometimes because I can stream audio to it. So again, really flexible systems. Just depends on what you're really looking for. Now, I'm always going acoustic guitar into these amps. A lot of players like electric, and for that, I'm going to give you the thoughts of one of the best live electric players that I know of. Now, we have a very special guest for the next part of this question.
Oh.
My man Davidas here. So most of my experience playing live, 99% of it has been playing an acoustic guitar through a PA system. Mm-hmm. Now we have similar PA systems, but most of what you play is electric.
Yep.
With maybe like, you know, keyboard and drums and stuff like that too.
Yep.
Now, I have stated before, one of my least favorite sounds in the world is an electric guitar straight into a PA system with like nothing else. I've seen some performers try this, and it's like grating on my ears, specifically with like single coil guitars too.
Oh no!
It's just like, oh, what are you doing? What have you done?
Yeah.
Why am I here listening to this? But you've actually kind of spent, some would say, several lifetimes amassing pedal boards, multi-effects pedals, so on and so forth. And I think you just got something new that you'd like to educate the world on. What do we got here?
Well, it's Strymon Iridium, but it actually started way before that with it was Omnicab Sim by DSM Noisemaker. I had that. Then before that, I had ADA CDS something Mark II, also like a cab simulator. You see, and then there was AMT.
I've seen that one.
CP100 effects. That was, and then Bose did GT1000, which was like all in one. But now, I mean, thanks to this guy, I've been getting into the pedal.
Addicted to pedals now.
I'm addicted to pedals now, and I've tried like this size pedal cabinet and amp simulation. I have multiple from different companies, and this one kicks everybody's ass.
Okay.
It's made in USA by Strymon, like you said earlier in the different segment. If they're gonna slap this name on the thing, it better be good. Yeah, because it's like you look at travel Instagram accounts. If it doesn't have Blue S Water, is it a travel Instagram account?
That's right.
Same with pedal boards. If it doesn't have Blue Sky by Strymon, is it really a pedal board?
I think you meant the Big Sky.
Big Sky.
Blue Sky is for chumps.
Oh, it's
big,
like a smaller...
Yeah. Big Sky is for pros. Pros only with the Big Sky.
You're right. That's hilarious.
No, but anyway, so the sound you get from this into a PA is really great.
There's no amp. There's literally, right now I'm on the Marshall setting and something. I have a room, so let me just demonstrate that. Everything else is off. At least I hope it is. Well, now it is. Slow was on and this was on.
There we go.
So now it's now.
A little bit of room.
Right? Just a little bit of room.
Yep.
You could do a gig with it. And drive, just like a real amp has a drive knob.
That's awesome. This is just a Mackie SRM Flex mini PA system. Oh! Guns out! Oh, I wasn't ready for that one.
You said Flex. SRM Flex.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, I also have a Fender right here.
Oh.
This is my Fender. I have Vox.
Oh, the British crunch.
Yeah, and I have 3 impulse responses here, and with a USB cable and a computer, I can swap them out, and I could probably make my own if I wanted to.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm not gonna. It sounds great already.
Yeah, I've never been an impulse response guy, but again, my man here slays it live. Check out his channel if you haven't. Just wanted to throw it to you because I'm talking about PAs. The electric players need to be represented.
Right.
Yeah. Acoustic's a little bit of an easier ballgame. If you have like an acoustic guitar with like a decent built-in preamp, it'll sound good through a PA.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully, anyways. But electric guitar, I've never been able to get a good sound out of it. And I refuse to bring an electric guitar amp with me along with the PA.
Yeah.
So that's why this is pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, no way. Don't do that. Why would you do that to yourself?
What about a jammy?
Next. Can you suggest me a good capo? Yes, the Kaiser. The Kaiser capo, $20. Awesome. I've got a couple of the G7 ones. Those are fantastic capos for sure. I definitely would not have paid $50 for them. I got one when I worked at Guitar Center, and it brought it down to be about the same price as the capo with the discount, the Kaiser capo with the discount. So it's like I might as well. The G7 capos are awesome. I love that you can specify the tension that you put on your neck with it. But honestly, like if I had to just have one and money was an option, like the Kaiser at $20 is absolutely awesome. The rubber's never worn out for me, and I've had it forever. I've got a couple of them. So again, for some people, $20 is a lot for a capo. For some people, it's not. Even if it is a lot for you, I would say splurge, because the difference between the $20 Kaiser capo and maybe like the $10 to $12 ones is significant, and I think it's definitely one of those things that like buy nice or buy twice. Get yourself a Kaiser capo, not endorsed by them or anything, but they're pretty great. It feels like you're Sherlock Holmes, revealing to Watson how he deduced a murder which everyone thought was a suicide. That is exactly how I approached making every single one of my videos, and I'm glad you noticed. So on the topic of good live stuff, I'm going to link you to Wolfpack and their Madison Square Garden show that they just debuted this week. Absolutely awesome. Talk about amazing vocalist Antoine Stanley, and can we just give it up for Theo Katzman as just being the man? I love everybody in Wolfpack. I'm a huge Wolf fan, so check that out. It's a great show. You won't be disappointed. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, or the website, and then make sure you go stream Emeryld Ryders or it's Lofi Christmas, because it's just keeping the dream alive. So I appreciate you.